All right. Story number two. So Lil Wayne got his flowers. Got Lil Weezyana Fest, Hot Boys reunion, 20 years in the making, easy. That was great to see. He was granted the key to New Orleans. An incredible honor. They announced Lil Wayne Day, February 6, 2025 will be the first Lil Wayne Day. That takes place 3 days before the Super Bowl. It was just a great celebration of Lil Wayne. Lil Weezyana Fest looked like an amazing celebration of Lil Wayne. It was on Amazon. I watched it over the weekend. I didn't catch it live. I watched the playback a couple of times yesterday. And it was just, Wayne is given so much. He deserves all the love. Now, there was one part of the festival that I wish he avoided altogether. One particular part of his performance that to me became a distraction. It 100% became a distraction. And I didn't think that needed to be the case. Okay. Obviously, it's around the Super Bowl. And that's still a conversation. It's still a conversation. People have been very upset. A lot of people, obviously, from New Orleans. A lot of people, obviously, around Young Money, Cash Money, very vocal about their disapproval in Lil Wayne not being chosen to perform at the Super Bowl in favor of Kendrick Lamar. And now this will be the second time Wayne has talked about this now. Wayne has talked about this twice now. Okay, now here's a clip from the first time he talked. This is after a few days, maybe almost a week after the announcement was made that Kendrick Lamar was going to headline the Super Bowl. Here's a recap of what Lil Wayne said then.
Hurt a lot. You know what I'm talking about. I hurt a whole lot. I blame myself for not being mentally prepared for a letdown. And for just automatically mentally putting myself in that position like somebody told me that was my position. It made me feel like not getting this opportunity. And when I felt like you guys reminded me that I ain't without y'all. And that's an amazing reality. That hurt.
So that was a clip of it, right? We played the whole thing previously. But that's what Lil Wayne said. No congratulations. No, I know you're going to kill it, Kendrick, but he was hurt in that moment, right? And apparently he really had a lot of stock in this. He really felt like the Super Bowl was his to lose, apparently. And, time has passed. Time has passed since this first initial statement. I think in my initial reaction to this, I said, it would have been nice to hear congratulations. But my favorite part of this part here is when, not in this clip, but in the full version, he says, I'm working on me and I'm working. Right? So he's doing work on himself. That was really positive to hear because, we always like when people improve. And Wayne has been on that double cup for a long time. Wayne is if you watch Lil Weezyana Fest, Wayne kept that Dutch lit the whole time. Right. And so that was my favorite part, was hearing him talk about how he's working on himself. But it always stood out to me that he never said congratulations. I just feel like that's the sportsman-like thing to do. He's a big football fan. They dap it up at the end of every football match. So Lil Weezyana Fest, he revisits the same well. So this is what he says right after he receives his flowers from the city of New Orleans, the key to the city, Lil Wayne Day, and an official fleur-de-lis from the city. He goes on stage and he says this.
That moment I said to myself, I want to be on stage for the Super Bowl one day in front of my mom. And I worked my ass off to get that fucking position, and it was ripped away from me. But this motherfucking moment right here, they can't take that, man. They can't take that from me. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for yourself for being amazing.
See, this to me became an unnecessary distraction, ultimately, for Lil Weezyana Fest. I know he's expressing how he feels. I know he's still upset about not performing the Super Bowl. But now I'm being forced to think about what a Lil Wayne Super Bowl performance might be, what it might look like. I'm wondering what he means by certain things that he said. Let's listen to the statement one more time.
On stage for the Super Bowl one day in front of my mom. And I worked my ass off to get that fucking position, and it was ripped away from me.
He worked his ass off to get that position, and it was ripped away from him. What does that even mean? I'm not sure what it means to work your ass off to get that position. Because, you know, that Essence Fest performance, that wasn't the best. That WrestleMania performance, that wasn't the best. I'm asking legitimately, or stating this, you know, from my point of view. I don't know what kind of work you do to get to the Super Bowl other than have an incredible catalog, which he does. And then prove that you can hold down the globe for 15 minutes with, you know, with your catalog and your stage presence. That WrestleMania didn't look like that. Jazz Fest, where we were supposed to have a Hot Boys reunion, became a hot mess. They ended up not reuniting. That's why this was a big deal here at Little Weezyana. That looked dysfunctional. I don't know what he means by that. And he said it was ripped away from him. Well, we just heard his first statement. Let's hear his statement again.
I blame myself for not being mentally prepared for a letdown. And for just automatically mentally putting myself in that position like somebody told me that was my position.
I blame myself for mentally putting myself in that position like somebody told me that was my position. That's what he said then. He said that a couple of months ago. He's like, oh man, I got my own hopes up. I got my own hopes up. Well, now he's saying
it was ripped away from me.
Well, how was it ripped away? It sounds like you set yourself up. My point is, this is a distraction. This is a distraction from ultimately what has been, or what was, a great celebration of all the things that Lil Wayne has given to the city of New Orleans, has given to hip hop, to all of us fans. And now we come back to cognitive dissonance. It was ripped away from you. A month ago or 2 months ago, when the announcement was made, you seemed to get that. You understood it then, as if somebody put me in that position. I got my own hopes up. And now it's like someone doing this. It was ripped away from me. That's a real distraction to what I think is ultimately an incredible, incredible evening. You know, a incredible celebration of Lil Wayne. And that resonated online. That doesn't sound like something that's going to rock well at the Super Bowl. And that's a big song. That's Don't Stop. You started finding people become more critical of Lil Wayne of the show following him saying that. I mean, here's a comment right here from King Jawan. Lil Wayne is a goofy because the Super Bowl spot was never his, and now he's running around crying, trying to take Kendrick Lamar's moment. One thing I can't respect is an entitled ass hitter. The whole Young Money act exactly like their leader. Here's another one. Wayne doing exactly what we expected Wayne to do. Kendrick deserved the Super Bowl. There's no question about it. The crowd not even vibing like they should be. Shaking my head, Louisiana Fest 2024. Here's another one. Kendrick Lamar is going to be the first rapper to headline the Super Bowl solo and is a gigantic fan of Lil Wayne, who's done nothing but act like an entitled brat instead of congratulating Kendrick, who rightfully deserves it. This is a blemish on Wayne's legacy. Now, I don't know if I'll go as far as to say this is a blemish on Wayne's legacy. I think Wayne has one of the most solid, legacies there is musically, 100%. You know, but there is something to that, because at the same time, there was still no congratulations. There's still no congratulations on this. We just had Juvie and Manny Fresh. They were on Power 105. We covered that on this channel last week. And both of them said that, hey, man, if they get the call, they going to be at the Super Bowl. They going to be there. And, you know, I think that's a testament to their support of Lil Wayne, because they also released statements saying that they wish Wayne was the one, which makes sense because they're home team. But this is 2 times in a row now where Lil Wayne could have said, congratulations, Kendrick. I know you're going to kill it at the Super Bowl. This is twice he could have done this, and he didn't. And now there's cognitive dissonance between his 2 statements, because the first one he said, man, I got my own hopes up. I was the one, you know, I put myself in that position because, you know, no one promised me anyway. And now on this one, he seemed to get that in the first one anyway, he seemed to understand that he got his own hopes up despite the hard work he did, which I guess was WrestleMania and Essence Fest, and neither of those looked the best. But he seemed to at least understand. And now he's saying it's ripped away from him. Ripped away from him. I don't know, man. I just think this whole moment was unfortunate. I think mentioning the Super Bowl at all, because that came from Wayne. There wasn't anyone else there who had mentioned the Super Bowl. The mayor didn't say, hey, we're giving this to you because you didn't perform at the Super Bowl. They didn't get the Super Bowl nod, so we're giving you your flowers today. They didn't. Master P never said that. No city official said that. No one on stage, none of the hot boys said that I remember. Wayne said that. And that to me is an unfortunate distraction from otherwise what was a warranted celebration of the legacy of Lil Tunechi. Let me know what you guys think about this, because I actually decided to separate the 2 videos instead of covering this the same way in the first one, because I do think Lil Wayne is deserving of all the accolades, of all the honors he's received this week at Little Weezyana. And I didn't want to tarnish that video with this because ultimately this is a much smaller deal. This is Lil Wayne expressing how he feels, and I think that's everyone's right, especially our artists. I personally wish he had never said that, because now it's pushed the conversation to a place of, well, actually, now that I've seen Little Weezyana Fest, do I really want to see that at a Super Bowl? I don't have the answer to these questions. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section. My name is Justin Hunt. Like, subscribe to the channel, follow at The Company Man on everything. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom dapping. Systematical culture views, it's radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, y'all, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.